I wanted to stop by, I guess I should call it a float by. I want to tell all of my viewers and my subscribers, this is very important. I want you guys to listen because I want to breeze through this real quick. If you guys haven't noticed, across this country, crappie fishing is becoming an epidemic, okay? Everybody's crappie fishing. We're only second financially to bass fishing, to bassing, okay? Otherwise, we're growing exponentially for all the crappie fishermen out there. So it's very important for you guys to know that. And right here at the Crappie Hole, along with my other YouTube subscribers, everybody out there is crappie fishing. We're part of a movement, and I want you guys to know that. Okay, congratulations if you're already involved. If you're out there catching crappie, whether it's sac-a-lait, whether you call it, crappie or crappie, paper mouths, specks, whatever you call them, wherever geographically you're located. I want you guys to be happy about that. Okay, it's very, very important. One other thing I want to mention to you guys, our t-shirts are in case you guys can't see them behind us, plus the one that I have on right here. If you haven't registered already at camscrappiehole.com, you need to register. All you have to do is go on there, put your email address in. That's all it takes. So once we get ready to do the grand opening, we take the chains off the doors, you guys will be the first to see that. Now, one other thing I want to mention, I'm going to put the camera down. I've had several people to ask me about how do you rig a jig? How do I do mine? Also, I'm going to cover what size split shot that I use, along with how far I place my split shot below my minnow. So I'm going to cover that. So I'm going to put you guys down, and I'm going to show you visibly how I rig mine. Okay? Hold on. Let me put you down. Okay. Just so you can see it. This is my jig here that I use, and this particular jig, I buy the paintless head because I can switch this to any style of skirt that I choose to use. All right. So how I generally do mine is where the curl tail is. Let me see if I can show it to you. I generally have my hook coming out upside the same way that the curly tail is. Okay. So in other words, I hook mine when the hook comes out. This is what it would look like. The same direction, because if I do it like this, it will give full action to the tail. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm going to be able to show you guys through this little short illustration. Also, when I do it that way, I have one color on one side and I have another color on the other side. So this is what it would look like when I rig my jigs. Okay, it's going to look like this. I take it, put it through. Depends on how aggressive the crappie are. I come out right at the end of the tail. Let me show it to you guys from the side so you can see it. Okay, pull the skirt up, right onto the hook, and I adjust it, just like that. This is a little weed guard that they have on there to protect from the branches, and probably normally whenever I throw this jig up in the branches and tree limbs and stumps, if I didn't have this weed guard on there, I get stuck probably 9 times out of 10. With the weed guard, it probably cuts that in half, about 5 out of every 10 that I get stuck. So I get a chance to save my jig. Okay, so that's how I do that. More action on the tail. So you want to make sure that you're very close to the end of that jig tail. Okay, I want to show that to you so you'll be able to see that. Now this is a 1/0 hook, which is what I use when I'm fishing with minnows. You can see it's cam action. And I generally use my split shot about 12 inches, between 8 and 12 inches above the minnow. Okay, just so you can see that. You don't really want a real big split shot because you're hindering the movement of the minnow. So I generally like to put it about 8 to 12 inches above, so that minnow will not have to carry this split shot all the way around. That means, if he's carrying around more weight, you're going to kill him faster. So you generally let him have about 12 inches of room where he's just carrying this long shank hook around. Plus, the minnow looks more agitated. It looks like he's free swimming with that. So it's very important to remember that, okay? So that's how I rig my jig, and that is the size hook that I use, and that's the size split shot that I use. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and forward and let you guys see these big brim. They're bedding right now. And remember this, the shirts are going to be available the second week in May. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and pre-register, we're going to have the people who pre-register to have the opportunity to purchase the shirts before we get, they will know first. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and get on camscrappyhole.com, and all you have to do is just put in your email. Listen, the material, I helped design these from A to B. It's very important that you remember with these t-shirts, they're 50-50 blend. So that means all you have to do is take them right out of the dryer, and all you have to do is wear them. They're made to go fishing, okay? They're made out of, they call it a dry blend, but it's moisture wick, which means it's sort of like, let me give you a metaphor, sort of like how a candle draws wax from it to burn, okay? What these t-shirts are designed to do is to pull the moisture away from your body, to hold it, okay? So they stay nice and cool out there in the heat. And again, they're 50-50, so that means they can withstand a lot of wear and tear. So you can throw them in the wash and dry, pull them right out. Don't worry about iron, throwing them on, and you're going fishing. So you guys will see me in the next segment's videos that I'll be wearing these, okay? Very important. Listen, guys, don't forget to register camscrappyhole.com. Here between this dock, look how close I am to land. Can you guys see that? And I'm getting ready to show you, because they're just starting to bed, and I'm going to show you what a brim slash shellcracker bed looks like. If you see shallows, you guys aren't going to be able to see this. I don't think so. I should have put my polarized glasses on so you guys can see that. But anywhere that you're riding and you see clear water, you see clear, and all of a sudden you see cloudy. Let me see if I can see if you guys can see through my polarized glasses. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Anywhere that you see that, those are beds. They look like upside down volcanoes. You may see dark debris around, and all of a sudden you see just a clear spot of sand. Those are beds. That's where they're going to be bedding at. As a matter of fact, hold on, I'm gonna back up a little bit. But that's a bed. Right there. You see all them sticks and everything? This is where they come up in bed. Matter of fact, you see right over there, those volcanoes, those pits, they look like upside down volcanoes. That's a brim bed. My motor just scared them away. But that's what we're looking for. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get right on top of them. Hold on. That's a bed. That's one bed. It's a very small bed. They just started. And you see how they pushed everything out, and the females come up and lay their eggs, and the males sit right in the middle of that. That's a bed. I hope you guys can see that. Look like little dark patches. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a small bed right there. Matter of fact, there he is right on the outskirts. There's the shellcracker right on the outskirts. They're just getting ready to start bedding. And down here from scouting earlier, we got a bed. So hold tight. I'm going to anchor down, and we're going to use we're going to go with the ultralight and about a 12-foot pole. So we're going to use both of those to see if we can catch. We're doing catch and release today. So hold tight, fam. Sit back and relax. We're going to see if we can have some fun, all right? Red wigglers. You can pick them up at your superstore. And like I said earlier in the video, I'm using a size 1 hook, cam action hook. Now, when you're searching, when you're scouting for beds, bluegill, red ear, aka shellcrackers, or brim, big brim, you ride around and you also use your senses. You listen for them because they're up there skirmishing around in the shallows. Also, use your nose. You can actually smell the beds, okay, when you get close to them. You guys may think that's a joke, but you can actually smell the beds. So we're getting ready to throw up there, and let's see if we can have some luck, okay? Let me turn you guys right there so you can see. Using any lead whatsoever, because we want a slow descent, a natural descent, and you watch the line on top of the water. Look at that. Instant. Look at that. Instant. Time it hits the water. Time it hits the water. This is a small one. Time it hits the water. Let's let this rascal go. We got to be careful because look at him. You see he's squirting? That's what you smell when you ride around looking for him, because he's up there to fertilize the eggs. That's his job, is to fertilize those eggs. Let's put another worm on. This is one thing that will pull me away from crappie fishing, and if you take your kids out to do this and you find a bed, they're going to remember that for the rest of their lives. Let's see if we can go back up there one more time, okay? That line lays on top of the water. Look at that. Instant. Instant. Instant, guys. Can you see that? Instant. Look at that. Wow. And these cats are truly the bullies of the shallows. These cats are really, really, really mean. I mean, it is instant. Let me turn you around a little bit so you guys can see me. Look at this. I'm going to see if I can give him to you with some scales so you can see him. And because of that size hook, they don't swallow it. Oh boy, these hooks are mean too. And he turns colors. Let me show you. Oh, they're feisty, man. They are really feisty. Let me show you this bluegill. This is a bluegill. This is a male. You see? Oh, they will stick you too, man. So let me put him back in the water real quick. We're gonna get another one. Sometimes you don't even know that they're on there. They've already swallowed it. They've already swallowed it. Now apparently this is a bluegill bed. Because these that we're pulling in are bluegills. All these are bluegills. You see how he fertilizes? You see it squirting? Whoa, they are mean. This time of the year, boy, they are feisty. Okay, well, apparently this is a bluegill bed. There we go. Let's see if we watch the line on top of the water. Look at that. Look at that. Instant. Time it hits the water. Look at that. Guys, I'm telling you something. These are some of the hardest pulling little rascals. I had to tighten up my drag on this rascal here. Look at the thick, look how thick this bluegill is. Look at that. Look at that. Now let me tell you what happens as soon as I touch him. Let me turn you around a little bit. As soon as I touch him, he starts to turn black. He knows that something's wrong. This is a male. You can see the hump on his head. Let me see if I can show him to you. Let me get the hook out. If I didn't have this big hook on there, these rascals, they just swallow it. They're so aggressive. I got to get back here and get my pliers. Get a real good look at them, okay? They're feisty, so as soon as I try to hold them, they take off. That's a bluegill, okay? He's purple, black. He's totally turned black since I've had him out, okay? Greenish color, yellow. Some people call them sunfish, but we're going to go ahead and let him go because we're going to get another one, okay? Boy, they are feisty. Let me rinse my hands off. They are truly called the bullies of the shallows. And for me, again, like I mentioned, this is one thing that will pull me away from crappie fishing because it's instant. I can come out here and I'll spend $40 in red wigglers in one day. In 2 hours, you can catch 100 of these things, and they just keep biting and biting and biting. And here's the good thing. Whenever one bed, you catch them all out of one bed, you catch 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you do a milk run. You have about 6 or 7. I got about 12 beds on this lake that I just keep going from one to the other, one to the other. And I just keep pulling them out. And when one bed stops, you go to the next one. Another bed stops, you go to the next one. That's what it's about. Let's catch a couple more, all right? I want to show you guys again how easy it is. Some of you guys out there that grew up fishing, you understand exactly what I'm saying. So time it hits the water, but you got to be near that bed. If you're not near that bed, let's see if we can get up there a little bit more. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. These rascals fight. Man, they fight. Now the age-old argument, this is another male. The age-old argument, let me turn you around. The age-old argument is which one tastes better, bluegill or crappie? Okay? So me myself, I don't try to get in the middle of the fight, but I prefer eating-wise crappie. Look at that. Can you see him squirting? Let me see if I can show him to you. That's how they fertilize those eggs. Let me show them to you so you can see them. I'll show it to you with my hand. Okay? Matter of fact, let me turn you around just a little bit so you can see him. That's my hand. This is a male. You see how black he's gotten since I've taken him out of the water? Just let him go. These are brim so far. Now, in my opinion, shellcrackers pull a little bit harder than brim do. Look at that. You spook them. They're very easily spooked. Look at this rascal. Man, you're talking about some strong pulling fish. Man, these rascals can fight. Good night. Boy. Okay, now this is a shellcracker. This is a, whoo, man, this is a nice shellcracker. Wow. Look at this shellcracker. Okay, you remember how the brim looked, right? This one has more green in it. Let me see if I can show him to you. That's why they call him red ear. Okay, you see how green he is? He has red eyes, and see that red ear? And he has like a polka dotted pattern on him. This is what we call a shellcracker. In my opinion, this pound per pound, this is the strongest pulling freshwater fish that there is. Good eating too, by the way. Man, he's thick too. They don't like you to touch him. And see how he's ready to fertilize? That's what he's doing up there right now. So we're going to let him go. Let's see if I can get him off. And let me tell you guys this. You see how when you touch them, those flare up, and they will stick you too. They're very, very sharp. So you have to be very careful of those. Let's see if we can get the hook out. There we go. Let's take a look at him. You guys see him? That's called a shellcracker. Mean little fish. That's why they call them the bullies of the shallows. Let's let him go. All right, let's wash our hands. To work the entire bed. Some people like to work the sides. There we go. Look at that. Look at that rascal. Look at that. Man, these rascals are strong. Look at that. Ooh wee. Wow. Man, when I tell you these things are strong, boy. Let me turn you guys around. Man, this rascal here is strong. You hear me? Let me pull you down just a little bit. Man, this is a nice shellcracker. Woo wee. Man, this thing here is thick. Let me turn you guys around a little bit. Let me see if I can show them to you. Man, look at my hand. Guys, these are considered a panfish, okay? Look how big this thing is. Look how big this shellcracker. Can y'all see the difference between a shellcracker and a brim? Look how big that thing is. Look at that. Good night. You got to be careful because these bad boys will stick you. Let's see if I can get him to show us a little bit of love so I can show him to you. They are mean. I mean, they are very mean. Let's see if I can show him to you. You see he's starting to turn black already. That's a shellcracker, aka red ear, aka sunfish. Okay, he's the first cousin of the brim. That is a shellcracker. Let me see if I can get behind him so you guys can see some scale. Guys, you catch you 15, 20 of these, you got you a mess of fish. Good eating too. Let's let him go.